Good Monday morning, everyone. Father Andrew Dickinson here with your Newman Center update for this week of the 23rd of January, 2017. If you want to know what's going on in the Newman Center this week, check the email. It's all in there. Or check our calendar online, linked on the email as well. I want to talk this week about the 44th anniversary of the Roe v Wade Supreme Court decision. It's a thing that a lot of people talk about. The anniversary was on Sunday the 22nd. But it's maybe not something that we know a lot about. But first I want to remind you, the point of the Catholic Church's opposition to abortion is not to make people feel bad if they've had one. It is not to become a voting bloc for this or that party's use. No, the reason we oppose abortion, number one, is to save lives. That'll become clear in a moment. Number two, it's also to save lives. Because if you've met someone who's suffered from an abortion, a woman who's chosen to have one, a man who's forced someone to have one, they'll often be suffering in their conscience in many ways from that abortion. Number three reason is to save lives. Notice I've said that 3 times, because it causes great suffering whenever it happens. All right, so what was this Supreme Court decision from 1973, Roe versus Wade? Well, it decided that abortion should be legal in all 50 states, whereas previously abortion could be decided by each state as to whether or not they would have it. The reason that Roe v. Wade decided for abortion was on the grounds of privacy. Now, what they mean in this is that the government has limitations on what it can do. Crazy idea, I know, right? But the government can't do certain things. The government should not be all-powerful over the individual person. And that this decision of a woman to choose an abortion was something that the government could not get into. Now, this is a bad decision because it ignores the most important question of all, personhood. Is this just a private decision between a woman and her doctor, or is there someone else involved, and who might that be? Now, our argument, the pro-life argument, which is not a religious argument, has always been there is another person involved, and that's the baby in utero. In fact, there's one of these beautiful posters from the March for Life, which will be happening this Friday in Washington, D.C., and is happening in other places throughout the country, and has this woman with a baby, and it says coexist with the baby in the womb, getting to the point that abortion isn't just a private decision between a woman and her doctor, or a family and her doctor, but there's another person involved that should have a voice, and that's the child. Now, Roe v. Wade deliberately does not address this question of personhood. They acknowledge the question, and the Roe v. Wade decision, if you read the text, or on page 157 or 8, says that if the unborn child is a person, then there's no way you can have an abortion. But if it is a person, then there's other questions that must be asked, and Roe v. Wade does not ask them, and they need to be asked by us as a society. All right. So I hope you will be advocates of asking this question in society. Compassionate advocates, but firm advocates. Compassionate for those who suffer, but firm in making sure this question gets asked. If you have ever procured an abortion, you're not alone. Seek help and forgiveness in Jesus Christ, the sacrament of confession and counseling. I'm available for you. If you are pregnant and scared, you're not alone. There are many things available to help you. It's not as scary as it seems, and I will walk with you in this effort to bring life into this world. God bless you. I love you. I pray for you, and have a great week.